and welcome to Blood of My Blood. This is a Last Tango production of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm in the studio with Leo Torrizo, the producer of Blood of My Blood. Leo, I've got to ask you a question. We're going to watch a television program, but it's basically a television program that you've created around a radio production.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about the background on that.
Exactly. Well, I wanted to do a full-length production of the Dracula play. Well, given limited resources, that wasn't going to happen in the Hollywood sense. So the fallback position was to do a radio play, but I wanted to do on television because I wanted to demonstrate how it was being done. So the next part of the process was to decide how to bring that together, and the way was to do a radio play in the 1940s genre, but produce it for television. So now what we have are actors playing the part of 1940s actors who are playing the part of actors playing in a Dracula play. So there was a little bit more to the production of this than, well, let's go find something to read, put it on tape, and we've got a show. And
you were able to get very talented actors to perform in this. How did you manage that?
One is I spoke with a gentleman that works with us here at FCAC, Ed Lockwood. He put me in touch with some people through the Screen Actors Guild, and I want to thank the Screen Actors Guild for supporting us in this effort. They put us in touch with some very fine people. I think you're going to see a first-class production here.
All right, in the material itself, how were you able to acquire the material to use in this way?
All right, the material, here's where today's technology comes into helping us produce yesterday's art, so to speak. We get on the internet and we found the play. Some changes had to be made to that, to fit into the time and everything, but if I couldn't have researched it any other way because I couldn't find the material in public domain in any other way. So that was one of the things right away and in fact, distributing the script to the actors was done by emailing it back and forth. And we ended up with like 66 revisions of that. So there would be no other way to do this. I mean, we'd still be in the research stage.
So this is truly a kind of cyberspace production, even though it's got a nostalgia look and feel to it.
Very much so. And one of the things that we're going to implement within this production is the ability of the audience to interact, as it were, with either the characters in character and speak with Dracula and ask him about his motives and all of this sort of thing. This is very possible. Or to step out of character and get in touch with these actors. We're going to work all of this over the web, and at the end of the show, there'll be email addresses and a website that you can come and visit and see scenes from the play itself.
All right, outstanding. Well, let's all sit back, relax, and watch Blood of My Blood.
Welcome to Last Tango Radio Theater, a series of radio plays adapted for television and specially crafted for worldwide distribution via the Internet. Tonight's story is a familiar one. In the latter half of the 11th century, a brave nobleman pledged land, sword, and honor in defense of Holy Mother Church against the threat of Islam. He was captured in battle and held prisoner for over 12 years. His reward was betrayal by his bishop, his wife, and finally, in a fall from grace, by God. Thus was born true Gothic evil. This black knight of hell, this blasphemer of good, is to be feared. His heart holds no envy of the Christ and is contemptuous of modernity. He cannot be converted nor cured, for he knows who he is, and he is evil.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight to bear witness to certain events that you may find hard to believe, but I ask you to believe me. I have here certain documents, telegrams, clippings from the press of the day, phonograph memoranda, and letters in various hands. All needless matters have been eliminated, so that the histories, almost at variance with the possibility of contemporary belief, may stand forth as simple facts. I present you first with a description of the community of players most unfortunate to have had a role in these dark events. My name is Arthur Seward. I am a psychiatrist. Was, engaged to Lucy Westenra. Her closest friend, Mina, is a schoolmistress married to a young London solicitor, Jonathan Harker. Professor Van Helsing, the hero, if this tale does have one, was my mentor at university. We begin with excerpts from the private journal of Jonathan Harker.
May 1st, 8:35 p.m. I, Jonathan Harker, am writing this journal in the hope that if misfortune overtakes me, it may one day come to the eyes of those who love me. I set out from London on the last day of April to visit one of our clients in Eastern Europe. May 3rd, I arrived in Budapest, on the border of Transylvania.
My friend, welcome to the Carpathians. I am anxiously expecting you. Sleep well tonight. At 3 tomorrow, the diligence will start for Bukovina. A place on it is for you. At the Borga Pass, my carriage will await you and will bring you to me. I trust that your journey from London has been a happy one, and that you will enjoy your stay in my beautiful land. Your friend, Dracula.
The road was rough, but still we seemed to fly over it with feverish haste. When it grew dark, there seemed to be some excitement among the passengers. They kept speaking to the driver and looking at me and urging him on to even greater speed. The coach rocked in its great leather springs. The mountains seemed to come nearer to us on either side. Coachman! Coachman!
What is it?
Where are we?
We're nearing your destination, young man. This is the Borga Pass.
There were black rolling clouds overhead, and in the air the muffled sound of thunder. Now we were through the pass.
The young Englishman's not expected after all. You were early tonight, my friend.
A hearse with 4 horses had drawn up beside us.
Let me help you, sir.
The coachman smiled, and the lamplight fell on a hard-looking mouth with very red lips and sharp-looking teeth as white as ivory. We began to move. I looked back. The coach and its load of passengers had vanished from sight. We swept into the darkness of the pass. I struck a match. It was within a few minutes to midnight. A dog began to howl somewhere far down the road. The wind was rising, howling through the rocks. The trees clashed together as we swept along. It grew colder and colder still. A fine powdery snow began to fall. The baying of wolves sounded nearer and nearer as though they were closing round us from every side. We were descending, the howling of the wolves growing less. Presently it ceased altogether. Just then the moon broke through the black clouds, and by its light I saw round us a ring of wolves running alongside the carriage. In silence, with white teeth and long red tongues and long limbs and shaggy hair. May 5th, 2 a.m. I must have fallen asleep. The carriage had pulled up in the courtyard of a vast ruined castle. The coachman was nowhere to be seen.
Welcome to my house. Come freely, go safely. Leave something of the happiness you bring.
Count Dracula?
I am Dracula.
His face was strong, very strong, aquiline. The mouth, so far as I could see it under the heavy mustache, was fixed and rather cruel looking. He had peculiarly sharp, white teeth.
Do you hear them, Mr. Harker?
The wolves?
The children of the night. As you say, Mr. Harker, the wolves. Listen, come now. There are many things that you must tell me tomorrow. Of England and the estate that you have purchased for me.
Why, yes.
The estate is called Carfax, I believe.
That is so.
Well, I will detain you no longer. You will find your room in readiness, and I advise you not to leave it in the night.
May 8th. This castle is on the very edge of a terrible precipice. A stone falling from a window would fall 1,000 feet without touching anything. I explored. There are doors everywhere, and all of them locked. The doors of the great hall, the doors of the courtyard. Every door in the great castle is closed. The Castle Dracula is a prison, and I am a prisoner. The next night, I could not sleep after so few hours, so I got up and, lighting a candle, placed my shaving mirror on the dressing table and was just beginning to shave.
You seem restless, Mr. Harker.
I had not seen him, although the reflection of the glass covered the whole room behind me. I turned to the glass again. Count Dracula was close to me, and I could see him over my shoulder. But there was no reflection of him in the mirror. It was blank. I started and cut myself on the side of my throat. The blood was trickling down my neck.
Blood! Blood! Wipe the blood from your face, Mr. Harker. And take care how you cut yourself. It's more dangerous than you think in this country.
That night, I had 2 dreams. In the first, I dreamt that Count Dracula crawled face down along the castle wall. In the second, I found myself at the writing desk, predating certain letters as the Count stood behind me and dictated. I knew that these letters would blot out any trace of my existence from the face of the earth. Yet I felt powerless to stop myself. When I awoke, I found most of my things were gone. My passport, my notes, my letter of credit. I could find no trace of them anywhere, and my door is locked from the outside. May 18th. There is work of some kind going on in the castle. Now and then I can hear the faraway muffled sound of pick and spade. The predated letters that Dracula had me write went forth. Count Dracula!
Yes, my friend.
Count, what of me? When can I leave? When am I free?
Free? Mr. Harker, you're always free. You want to leave? Would you like to leave tonight?
Yes, yes.
My dear young friend, not an hour shall you wait in my house against your will. Come, follow me. The door seems to be bolted. It's locked. How strange.
Well, in God's name, open it.
As you will, Mr. Harker. You English have a proverb that is very close to my heart. Welcome the coming, speed departing guest. Good night, Mr. Harker.
Shut the door! Shut the door!
The door is shut, Mr. Harker. I take it you will remain.
Morning, June the 17th. These may be the last words that I ever write. God preserve my sanity. I have never seen Count Dracula by day. At the first cockcrow, he is gone. I do not understand these things. I only know that the wolves obey him, and that he is a man with hair on the palms of his hands, and with sharp teeth, and with no blood in his face. He cast no shadow. He cannot be seen in a looking-glass. He moves like a bat across the sheer face of the castle walls. He eats no food, and is mortally afraid of a crucifix. As I write this, I hear in the courtyard the rolling of heavy wheels and the cracking of whips. In the passageway below, the sound of heavy boxes being set down. The boxes are shaped like coffins, and I know what they hold. They are filled with holy earth from the chapel beneath the castle. The last of the boxes is being nailed down. And now I hear the trampling of feet. The door shuts. The chains rattle. In the courtyard and down the rocky way, the crack of the whips. Help! Help! Help!